Stop scrolling right now. What I'm about to tell you might make you uncomfortable, but if you're a father building a business, this could be the most important 10 minutes of your life. And yeah, I get it. That might sound a little dramatic, but so does missing your kid's entire childhood while trying to convince yourself that Slack notifications are more urgent than bedtime stories. After helping transform the lives of tons of dadpreneurs and their families, I've discovered something that's going to hit you like a ton of bricks. There's a devastating lie that you've been sold that's been robbing you of the very things that you are working so hard to build. Here it is. To be a good provider, you must sacrifice family time for business success. And this lie is destroying more fathers than burnout, bankruptcy, and crypto investments combined. And if you're believing it, I can virtually guarantee you'll wake up one day with strangers for children, a marriage running on fumes, and success that feels completely empty. But before I give you the process that's changed everything for so many of my clients, I want to ask you something. Have you ever missed a kid's game recently because of a critical meeting? Have your conversations with your kids become nothing more than how was school? And even those conversations feel a little charged. Do you secretly worry that one day you're going to have a fat bank account but no real connection with the people that you're working so hard for? If you said yes to any of these, keep watching because what I'm about to share with you isn't a TED Talk. This is a soul intervention. So I want to talk about what I call the dadpreneur dilemma and why it sucks so much. Let's be honest about what's happening in the lives of dadpreneurs right now. And listen, if I were to guess, because you're still watching this video, this is happening to you right now. You didn't build your business just so you can flex on LinkedIn, right? Like you built it for them, your family, to provide for your family, to create financial freedom, to build something meaningful, to be the hero in your kid's bedtime story, to show them what's possible when you chase your dreams. But somewhere along the way, things got twisted for you. Deadlines replaced dinner. Growth days replaced game nights. And now your current legacy feels like your LinkedIn profile, but with no soul. And that voice in your head that keeps whispering just a little longer. Once we hit this revenue goal, once we land this big client, once we launch this product, then I can be present with my family. Spoiler alert, that day never comes. Instead, you're at your desk at 9 p.m. again, missing bedtime again, justifying it by telling yourself you're doing it for them. Meanwhile, your kid said something absolutely hilarious today that you're never going to hear. Your wife handled another crisis at home alone. And that connection that you once had, it's fading a little more each and every day, and you can feel it. And listen, you're convincing yourself that it's for their future. But what's going on is you're actually missing and ignoring your present. And I know this reality all too well because I lived it. And I've watched countless successful men fall into the same very trap. Listen, you're not a bad guy. I want to make sure that is clear. This is not to guilt you. It's just to let you know that you're stuck in a bad system. One client came to me after missing his daughter's performance for the second year in a row. He was doing 7 figures in sales, but couldn't even tell me her best friend's name. Another was building a real estate empire while his wife was quietly consulting divorce attorneys. Like, what is that? The truth is, success without presence isn't success at all. It's just expensive failure. So let's take a minute and talk about this seductive lie of sacrifice. The whole concept is a mess, right? You've been sold this idea that business success and family fulfillment exist on opposite ends of a seesaw. So if one goes up, the other must go down. But ask yourself this. Did your kid ever say, any of your kids ever say, hey, dad, could you make a little bit more money instead of showing up to my game, right? Like, did your wife ever say, please prioritize that 6-month growth plan over our intimacy? I want less sex. Then why are you acting like they did? And listen, it's dangerous to think this way because it seems logical on the surface. Of course, building something great requires sacrifice. Of course, there's only 24 hours in a day, right? Something has to give, but here's what no one's telling you. Your kids don't actually want your money. They want you. They want your presence, your attention, your genuine interest in what's going on in their world. And before you tell me, well, they do need my money because somehow, how else am I going to provide for them? I get it. I want you to take a moment and think about your own childhood. What do you remember most? The gifts you received or the moments when your parents were fully present with you? I can almost guarantee it's the latter. And if you mostly remember that your father was not around while you were growing up, then you already know how this ends if nothing changes. Because when you sacrifice family time for business, like you're not just missing moments, right? You're creating a generational pattern. You're showing your children that work comes before relationships. Achievement matters more than connection. But I imagine that's not the lesson that you want to teach your kids, right? So if sacrifice isn't the answer, then what is? Well, the solution isn't working less. That doesn't work. Or it's not abandoning your ambition. I wouldn't ever tell you that. And it's certainly not settling for mediocrity, because that's not what we do here. It's a strategy I call strategic integration. Not work-life balance, because that's another lie. Don't let me get into that. It's not about hustling harder, because that's going to lead to more burnout. Strategic integration is a framework that flips the entire script. Your family isn't separate from your business. It's actually central to it. And when you integrate instead of divide, something magical happens. Your business actually grows faster. Your leadership becomes more powerful. Your decision making improves dramatically. Your creativity explodes. Your guilt and your shame that you feel starts to go away. This happens primarily because you're no longer split in two. You're no longer in an internal war between your ambitions and your heart. You're actually whole. You're integrated. You're iconic. So let me break this down. Let me break down what strategic integration actually looks like in practice, because this isn't theory. This is purely transformational. So first, it starts with a fundamental shift in how you view time. Now, most dadpreneurs operate from a scarcity mindset when it comes to time. There's not enough hours, you say to yourself, right? Like something has to give, right? Strategic integration reframes this completely. Instead of seeing time as something to divide between competing priorities, you learn to create powerful synergies. Let me give you an example. One of my clients, Jason, used to work 70-hour weeks and still felt behind. Like after implementing strategic integration, he restructured his entire approach to business and life. And now, his 10-year-old daughter, he takes her to school every morning. And during these walks, they talk about life and values and challenges. And his daughter feels seen and valued. And something unexpected happened, right? These conversations became a source of incredible business insight and inspiration for Jason. These questions that his daughter asked made him rethink how he serves his clients. The stories that they shared together sparked marketing ideas, and the relationship itself fueled his purpose and drove his performance forward. See, like this isn't about squeezing in quality time like around the edges of your work. It's about creating an integrated life where your roles as a father, a husband, and an entrepreneur actually strengthen each other rather than compete against each other. Now, the second pillar of strategic integration is what I call value-aligned decision making. What does that even mean, right? Most business owners make decisions based primarily on revenue potential, growth opportunities, or competitive advantage. And listen, those factors matter. Of course they do. We're talking about business, but strategic integration adds another crucial aspect. For example, how does this decision align with your core values as a father and a husband? And what will this cost you in time, presence, and peace? Right? This is not just about money. Like these questions can change everything for you because it eliminates the internal conflict, that guilt, that shame that drains so many dadpreneurs. It creates clarity where there used to be confusion. For example, I had another client, Mike. Mike was considering expanding his business into 3 new markets. And on paper, it looked like a no-brainer. But when he ran it through the value-aligned decision matrix, he realized that 2 of those markets would require extensive travel during a critical year in his daughter's development. And instead of blindly pursuing growth at all costs, he focused on just one market that allowed him to maintain his presence at home. And listen, his business still grew substantially, but without the soul-crushing sacrifice. His daughter still had her dad present for her transition into middle school. And his marriage actually strengthened during a period that breaks so many entrepreneurial relationships. And by the way, the opportunity for Mike to expand into those 2 other markets are still there. And now, because he did it once, he has a stronger, more efficient plan for making that happen faster and better. Now, the third component of strategic integration is what truly sets this approach apart. And it's called presence multipliers. Now, presence multipliers are specific strategies that allow you to dramatically increase the impact of the time that you spend with your family. So this isn't about efficiency, it's about depth. Most fathers think presence is binary. You're either there or you're not. But there's an enormous difference between being physically present while mentally elsewhere, and then being fully engaged in a way that creates meaningful connections. Think of it this way. Instead of asking yourself something like, am I there? Ask yourself, who am I while I'm there? I teach my clients specific techniques to ensure that when they're with their families, they're really there, not distracted by work, not half listening while checking email, but like genuinely connected in a way that fills everyone's emotional bank accounts. This approach actually reduces the pressure to be everywhere all the time, because when you master presence multipliers, an hour of truly connected time can do more for your relationship than an entire distracted weekend. I mean, even as little as 1% of your day, which is just 15 minutes, can make a dramatic difference in you and your family's lives. Now, I could spend hours breaking down each component of the strategic integration framework. I really can. But here's what matters most. You don't have to choose, guys. You don't have to choose between business success and being an exceptional father and husband. That is a false paradox that's destroying too many men, maybe you right now. There is a better way. A way that doesn't require superhuman effort or impossible sacrifices. A way that actually grows your business and allows you to show up at home fully, consistently, and powerfully. I've seen it work for myself, for my clients, and for hundreds of other dadpreneurs like you. Men who are on the verge of losing everything that matters despite their outward success. Men who now build thriving businesses while being the fathers and the husbands they always wanted to be. Now listen, if you're ready to reject this lie and embrace something like strategic integration in your own life, well, I've created a video that breaks down the entire framework, and it shows you exactly how to implement these principles today, like right now. Even if you think you're too busy or you have a crazy schedule, it works for you too. So to access this training, simply click the link in the description below this video. There's no fluff, it's direct, no strings attached, nothing to offer, because here's what I know for sure. In 20 years, your children will not remember how much money you made. They're not going to care about the deals you closed or any of the products that you've launched at the 11th hour, but they will remember whether you were there. They will carry the imprint of your presence or your absence for the rest of their lives. And you'll either look back with deep satisfaction at a life well integrated, or you're going to feel that profound regret at what you missed while chasing success in all the wrong areas. The choice is yours. But now you know there is a choice, right? Like, I don't want you to be the man who wakes up successful and alone. So click the link in the description or the thumbnail that shows up on this video, and let's build a legacy that's truly worth leaving in your business and your family. I'll see you in the next